Hey, it's Jen Mack, Lady of the Mind. Welcome to Life Mastery Decoded for women and women entrepreneurs, where I help you decode the struggles in your life in the areas of health, wealth, and relationships with mind mastery and meditation tools and techniques so that you can live the life that you're proud of. Welcome to today's podcast. Hey guys, I wanted to come on real quick and share with you this new chapter that I'm working on in my book. And the title of the book is Life Mastery for Women and Women Entrepreneurs. And it is broken down by big, giant epiphanies that I have had over the course of my life that I want to share with every single person who is interested. So I'm hoping if you're listening to this podcast that you're interested as well. But let me tell you about this one chapter. This is about reaching your goals, but nobody wants to work on their goals. And mostly I'm recognizing that they don't want to work on their goals simply because it's too hard. Because a lot of times we see goal achievement as being this thing that we're just going to talk about, but we're never going to reach. So upon all of my reading and research, I have created what is called the Personal Intention Accelerator. Now, what is that? Well, a long time ago, there was, if you remember, if you have listened to my other podcasts, you have heard the story of me having these relationships that were really disrespectful, unhealthy, and in no other words, crappy. And I was sick and tired of it, right? I was tired of having this what would have been my best friend turn really ugly throughout the relationship. And upon diving headfirst into the personal development field and learning everything I could and studying everything and getting books and blogs and videos, that I came across something that I realized would be the breakthrough of reaching goals. Because I was a personal trainer. I was in the fitness field before I was in the personal development field. And I used to work with all these women clients. And of course, they had goals of losing weight, gaining strength and flexibility, being able to play with their kids or grandkids, being able to pull themselves into a boat after they've been snorkeling with the family. All of these goals. And I was helping them to achieve their goals. And a lot of them were struggling really, really hard with constant weight gain through the holidays or having weight through their whole life and then never ever being able to enjoy the reaching of a goal as losing weight and being fit and healthy. And as I started to work with these clients, I started to understand that there was something that was the initial block of their achievement, something internal. And when I was younger, probably my mid-20s, all I wanted to do was make more money. All I wanted to do was have time and money freedom. And this was probably, I was 18 or 19 years old. And since I was looking at like entrepreneurship, it was really challenging for me because I didn't really know where to go. And I didn't really have the skills and knowledge. So as I started to go into the personal development field, I also started to kind of simultaneously go in the business field, and just meaning the learning of and trying to accelerate my learning and trying to understand business and how I can juggle these two things. Because if you remember from the first podcast, I talk about my mom and growing up as with a single mother, we were on welfare and we had food stamps, and it was really a struggle for her, though she always had a job. She always worked somewhere. And I don't remember her being unemployed for long periods of time. And my mom was really, really doing the very best she could. She was working really hard. She loved us to the best of her ability and really wanted to provide for us. But as I started to go through school and I realized I want more money, I want more choices, I want more freedom, as I went to college, that's all that could consume my mind. That's all I could think about. And I would get this job and it would be stupid and the boss was a jerk, or the hours were dumb, or I had to work really long periods of time and without much of a break. And my body was kind of suffering from all the standing and it was just these constant complaints. I like to be up at night, but I don't want to work at night. And I don't want to get up at 6 o'clock in the morning and, blah, 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 all these constant complaints. So as I started to want to achieve this goal and making more money and becoming an entrepreneur and started to just become my journey, like as of right now, as a 48-year-old, I have had 37 jobs, most of them in retail, maybe two of them in like a restaurant business, one or two of them, three of them in fast food, but then there was a couple others that were in restaurant, and then a couple others that were like career type. You know, I was a chiropractic assistant. I worked as a vision therapist in an occupational, or a like an occupational assistant, and as a vision therapist in optometrist office. But it still just wasn't enough because somebody else was telling me how much I was getting worth. Someone else was always telling me how much I should make. And that was very frustrating to me because I always dove headfirst into the job and really learned a lot. And I was excellent at customer service and I was an excellent employee until I wasn't. So as moving now, again, simultaneously learning about business and then learning about personal development, I started to work on myself. Like what kind of person, what kind of woman do I have to be in order to reach this goal? Well, as I started to bring in all of these books and tools and resources to help me move into this goal of time and money freedom, because I knew it was available. I read all of Robert Kiyosaki's books and I read all these business books. I got into real estate for a little while. I'm a public speaker and a coach, but it's still just, it was hard to get into that market. Like there was still a piece missing. Anyway, when I started reading and learning and watching these videos and reading these blogs and just diving headfirst into what about me has to be different in order for me to reach this goal, it started to uncover some steps, very specific steps and questions and mini perspective shifts that I had to personally go through in order to reach my goal. I needed to understand where I was getting stuck. Because as I would enter into the quote, the market with my newfound idea and my newfound business adventure, I would always get stuck somewhere. But I didn't know enough about what the steps were to know where I was getting stuck. What I was focusing on though was knowledge. I was in this space where I'm just addicted to learning. And I would jump from topic to topic to topic, staying within the broad topic of business or the broad topic of personal development. But I would just dive headfirst as far as I could go all night long, all day long, reading books, watching videos, signing up for courses, and diving headfirst into understanding. But I came up with something, and it's this new framework called the Personal Intention Accelerator. Now, what does that mean? If you take each of those words, what does it mean? So personal, of course, it's specific to you. And intention is what you intend to accomplish or do. So it's like a goal, but it's more powerful than saying, I have a goal to lose 20 pounds by the end of the year. It's an intention. And if you say those words, you feel a difference in the energy behind it. If I say I have a goal versus I intend, there is a very specific energy shift. So you should try that. Try just changing those words around. Then the accelerator is because just like anyone, when you set a goal, you don't want to spend the rest of your life trying to reach that goal. You want to reach that goal by a set time limit. And usually that time limit is not very far out in the future. I used to have clients come in. They're like, I want to lose 20 pounds by July. And I'm like, this year, July? And they're like, yeah, I have a wedding to go to. And I'm like, that's in 6 weeks. And so I'm like, as a personal trainer, I'm like, well, you probably could do it, but you literally would have to work with me for 8 hours straight, like every single day, and give up alcohol, cookies, carbs, and I don't know what else, chips, but you have to. And nobody was willing to do that. So now back to this. When I was trying to get my goals, I kept hitting that wall of the unknown, this wall that is like, what is wrong with me? Like, why can't I get through this goal? Have you ever had that problem where you have this goal out there and you know that it's achievable, you know that you can get it, but like, I keep coming up against this, like, why is the next day so difficult? Like, what is the problem? And I'm really excited to bring this to you. And what I want to do is share with you the internal struggle was the hardest part to get through. The external things were, if I'm going to go out and do this job, I was going to do this cleaning business, and I was going to clean people's cabins and like get them open for the season. And of course, you're busy as snot 2 times a year, in the early spring when they want to open them to be able to go out, and then the fall when they want to close them. But anything in between was not really working. And then I wanted to do like a house cleaning where I could set my own hours and I could take time off and I could whatever. And I made these flyers and I put them in everybody's mailboxes, and not one single call, not one call. And I'm like, I can clean a house. I love to clean. I love to clean and organize. I love to do windows even, and vacuum and dust and whatever. And I did it a couple of times and I hated it, which I thought was really interesting. Like, I like cleaning my own house, but to clean someone else's house for money, I hated that idea. So what I ended up doing is I kept struggling, and the internal struggle was, who do I need to become? Like I mentioned before. So in order for me to get this goal, who do I have to become? And I had to realize that not only did I have need the knowledge and the skills, but I needed to be somebody who was determined to do the work. I had to be someone who was going to do something about it every single day. If I wanted to lose 20 pounds, I couldn't just work out once because right now I feel motivated. I had to work out every day. I had to do something every day to build up this momentum to get my body to adapt and to change. The external struggle was the marketing that I had to go through. Like, how else do I get my word, the service that I'm trying to provide? How do I get that out there? And it was really challenging. That was really hard, and I was very limited on funds. I had a full-time job or 2. Usually I had, 1 or 2. The most I've ever had was 3 jobs at one time. All, of course, not paying very much. But then I also was spending all of my money too, which leads to another story. But anyway, but what I ended up getting was, one afternoon, I was on my way to work as a facilitator for a retreat my friend was putting on. And I was the lead facilitator. So I was organizing. I had booked the retreat space. I had sent out all of the information. I created the flyers and the other products that we were selling. I helped to create the program that we were doing. And we're on our way there. And I was to be ordering lunch. And I was going to order, we had a small group coming. I was going to order 3 pizzas and a couple of big salads and some drinks. And before I made the order, I remember feeling this fear in the pit of my stomach that I think I know how much money I have in my bank account, and I don't think I can cover buying 3 pizzas. And I mean, you're talking about $60 or $70, maybe, right? And I remember pulling off on the side of the road, and I had just was texting, or before, my friend and I were on the phone, and we were going back and forth of who's going to pick it up and who's going to order it and stuff like that. And she had sent me a text with the order, like what kind of pizza, what kind of salad, what kind of drinks. And so I pulled off to the side of the road because I'm thinking, I don't know that I have the money to go get this. And I remember looking at my bank account, and my bank account had $10 in it. And my savings account had 0. And a while ago, I had gotten in some credit card debt. So I don't even have a credit card that has any kind of a balance or any kind of a limit on there, that any credit really, for me to use that to get these pizzas. So as I sat there, I started to get angrier and angrier, because how did I let this happen? And I'm like in charge of this thing, and I spent all this money, and I knew it was coming months ahead of time. Why didn't I put money away just in case I was going to need to go and buy anything? So long story short, what I ended up doing is calling my friend and basically telling her I can't afford to buy the pizzas. Like, I don't have the money. And she says, okay, no problem. And she called ahead, used her card or whatever, paid for the pizzas, and then now I just have to go pick it up. And we never spoke of it again. But in that moment, as I sat there and I'm very angry and I feel embarrassed, and I started to cry. And I started to go down the victimhood rabbit hole of, why me? Why don't I have money? Why is this so hard? Why did I grow up in this household where now I have these beliefs that money is so scarce and that I have to be in this place of struggle all the time? And it was really taking my energy, and here I am on my way to this retreat, and I'm the facilitator, one of the facilitators, but I'm like the in charge person. And I realized that my attention is going down this rabbit hole of poor me and this victimhood rabbit hole. And I immediately like sucked it up, took a deep breath, wiped the tears, and I said, you know what? Never again. Never again am I going to be in this position. Because remember, I'm like trying to spend all this time trying to gain all of this, trying to become an entrepreneur and trying to get this money and trying to have this time and money freedom instead of these jobs that don't pay me enough and et cetera, et cetera. Never again. I made that decision then and there. I was never again going to be in this position where I didn't have any money. And then I asked that question, who do I have to become in order to have money in my bank account every time? And immediately you have to stop spending every single cent you get. You have to start being wise with your money. Now, these are just examples of times in my life where I had to make that decision. I said, never again am I going to be in this position. Never again am I going to be in a bed with someone else that I claim to be my best friend in the dark, feeling more alone than ever before. Never again. And as soon as I made that decision, my life started to change. I'm not kidding. We were at that retreat for 7 days. I couldn't even tell you what happened. I got a speaking gig a little while after that, where they were able to pay me half up front. Within the week that we were at this all women's retreat, by the time I got home, I had $1,000 in my bank account. Now, that $1,000 had nothing to do with the retreat. Was I paid for this retreat? Yes, but that was different. The $1,000, I believe, came from making that decision that time when I had pulled my car over and was standing on the side of the road. I wasn't standing on the side of the road when I was parked on the side of the road, but I made that decision. I am never going to be here again. I am going to be thankful for the $10 that's in my bank account, and I'm going to pretend to spend it. I'm going to go to the dollar store and I'm going to buy 9 of the best items. I could buy those 9 items and turn around and sell them each for $2. And I didn't do that. But what I'm saying is I started to become grateful. I started to be thinking differently. I made the decision. And from that moment on, I started to think differently. And that's what I'm asking you to do. That was my aha moment. That chance, that time of being embarrassed, that opportunity that said, I don't have $60 to my name that I could, as a leader of this retreat, go and buy these pizzas for these women. So what did I do? I started here to decipher when I'm looking at my clients and I'm looking at these people that are here and watching these people set these goals and not achieve them. I started to decipher and kind of research their steps. They would post on Facebook, or, my wife, Amy, and she's like, I want to lose weight. And we start to talk about it, and we talk and we have these great big conversations. And like I was a personal trainer, right? So I have all the stuff. I have all kinds of gear. I have all kinds of knowledge. I have all kinds of equipment and ways to get healthy and all this exercise knowledge. And we live in this area that we totally could go for walks and go. I have a big fenced in backyard, so we could work out outside, all these things. Why isn't she reaching this goal? And as I started to peel this apart, what ended up coming to fruition are these steps and this framework that you must go through in order to reach the goal. Now, the very first thing is you have to have clarity of your goal. Now, this is the framework. I'm teaching this to you. It is going to be in the book. It is going to be one of the things that I teach, and it is going to be a course. I am totally like, you want to reach a goal, this is how you do it, because it works for me. I put every single one of my goals and intentions through this framework, and it comes out on the other side exactly the steps to get there. It's just like a map. It's just like a map. If you want to get from wherever you are to Phoenix, Arizona, unless you're already in Phoenix, but if you want to get from here to Phoenix, Arizona, you have to start the car, pack the car, do the thing, drive the road, turn left here, turn right here, drive here 78 miles, then turn left. You have to follow these certain steps. Well, goal setting is no different. So, and I'm using very powerful tools in there too. So like the visual, you have to visualize what is the goal that you want. Be clear. Don't just say, I want to lose weight. You have to be clear. I want to lose 20 pounds in 3 months. Okay, there's your goal. Very specific. The next thing is, what is your intention? Is setting an intention right there. I intend to lose 20 pounds by blank date, 3 months from now, February 15th, August 3rd, whatever, exactly 3 months from now. Okay, so setting that intention. The next is, what is the desire? Well, I desire, like, why do you desire this thing? I want to look good. I want to feel sexy. I want to get into those jeans. I want to show my kids that I can do it. I want to feel worthy. I want to feel confident. I want to be beautiful again. Whatever your thing is that gets you excited. And you keep asking why about 7 times to get to the real answer of why you want to lose weight. The one that gives you chills. The one that makes you like, wow, that's it. Like light up. That one. Then you wrap that up into your intention. I want to lose weight. I want to lose 15 pounds by February 3rd because I want to show my kids how to reach goals. I want to work hard for my family. I want to be able to play with them and go on vacation and wear a bathing suit and look sexy and feel sexy. Okay? Whatever gets, when you read it, it gives you a joyous or an empowering physical response in the body. Okay? The next is, do I believe that this goal is achievable? And that, now I'm going to ask 2 different questions. Is that goal reachable and is it possible for me? So is this goal possible? Meaning, has anybody else in their world ever lost 20 pounds in 3 months? And if the answer is yes, then that's a powerful yes. If somebody else can do it, then you can do it. It's just a way to give you some confidence. And the next is it possible? Do I believe it's possible for me? Do I believe I can lose 20 pounds in 3 months? And that question is it possible for me in my current life? There's the logistics of it, but then there's also, is it possible? Like, do I believe that I can do what it takes to reach this goal? And if you don't feel like you can, what do you feel like are the beliefs that stop you? Why would you not be able to reach this goal? Well, because I don't have any time. Maybe I don't have the knowledge. Maybe I hate going to the gym. Write down everything that you think is stopping you. And I'll have another podcast to help get over those limiting beliefs. But right now, we're just finding out where you're getting stuck. Like, why is this goal not making its way into your life? Okay. The next is the knowledge. What knowledge is missing for me to obtain this goal? What do I need to know? If I'm going to go into business, what do I need to know? I need to know how to market. I need to know what my product is. I need to know how to showcase my product. I need to maybe know some technology because I need a social media. I need a Facebook page, whatever. So I need to be able to put my thing out there. What knowledge is missing? The next question is, what skills do I need to have to obtain this goal? What skills do I need to have? So this is, what are going to be my to-dos? What am I going to need to learn is the knowledge. And then how do I apply that learning? So, okay, now I need to understand exercise. So I could walk, I could hike, I could kayak because I hate the gym. So I could go do those things. But now the skill is setting the time management. How do I do that when the kids are home? Oh, I know, I could include the kids and we'll all go for a hike together. We'll even bring the dogs. And we have to do this every day. We have to do something every day. So on this day, we're going to go for a hike, but on this day, we're going to play soccer in the backyard. And on this day, I'm going to meet with my friend because the boys are going to be in school. I'm going to meet with my friend and we're going to go for a walk. Or we're going to do some workout video at home. Okay? Those, and the skills are the time management, the actual action that it's going to take for me to get there. Okay? The next is, who is my support? When I had these women clients in my boot camp, I had an outdoor boot camp class that I ran as a personal trainer and a boot camp instructor. And I had this one woman who was in my class who had easily 100 pounds to lose, but she was very determined. And she was one of my favorite students because she was so determined to lose weight. And this step came into this personal intention accelerator framework because of this student right here, because of this woman. She had 3 kids. She's married, and she would come to class. She would work hard. I swear she'd practically lose 100 pounds just how hard she worked in class, how determined, how hard she would work. She was focused, right? But then we would weigh in that following week or the end of the month or whatever it was, and she didn't lose as much weight as I would thought she would have. And I'm thinking, man, I mean, it's been a month and she's only lost a total of 5 pounds. Like I'm not understanding, like this can't be right. Something's wrong here. So we started doing this journaling meeting with the group every Thursday night after class. We would meet with the group. We would talk about things. And one of the things that she said that stuck with me all these years later, it's been 10 years probably. And one of the things that she said is, the problem I have is that I'm gone at class, and when I come home, my husband has, quote, surprised me by, quote, making dinner, and he bought 2 large pizzas and 2 liters of Coca-Cola. Now, I'm the student. These are my favorite items to eat, is pop and pizza, which is why I'm, 223 pounds. Okay? Or 250 pounds. They're my favorite foods, but my husband, he buys these foods knowing that I love them, but unfortunately it kind of sabotages me. So I don't want him to feel bad. I don't want to say like, hey, dude, I just went to class. I'm going to have a salad tonight and drink water or whatever. She feels like she's going to offend him because he's really trying hard to do what's right. That's why she wasn't losing any weight. So between her and the family and the couple kids, they demolished these 2 pizzas and all of this Coca-Cola. So when I come back to this step and say, who is your support? That support is going to be someone you can trust, someone you can rely on, someone who really can hold your hand through your process. Because when you are going through reaching goals, you have to become someone else. You have to transform. Because if you're overweight, if you're poor, if you're in crappy relationships, you're a certain person who can sustain that. So in order to have something that's really the opposite of that, to be rich, to have time and money, to have a thin, healthy, lean, mean, sexy body, or to have a healthy, loving, supportive relationship, you have to become someone else. You have to transform. So that means you have to do the work. This is not a time where I'm going to say, you could tell your husband this and make him into a different person. I'm saying this is you. If you're listening to these words right now, you have to transform, and you just have to get on board with that. So now you have to ask yourself that most powerful question: who do I have to become in order to achieve this thing that I'm wanting to become? And so when she was telling me that, in order for these women to lose weight and to become these thin, sexy, not even thin, just these beings of beauty, they had to change. But they also needed support while they went through this change. And if you don't have support, please consider using me as your support. Share your goal with me. You can come over to my Facebook page. You can share it on Instagram. You can share it as a comment on my YouTube channel. All of these links are in the description, but come on over to that page and say, hey, you know what, Jen? I need some help. I really want to lose weight. I really want that healthy relationship. I want to marry my best friend. I want to have the money and the time and the business. Please hold me accountable, and we will work that out. We will work out something as in how I can be your support. Because you have to have somebody, because there's going to be days as you're going through the change that your mind is going to go, oh, can we just go back to eating pizza and Coke? Because that is way easier than cooking chicken and vegetables. Can we do something else? Yeah. So you have to have support system. And if you can't find a best friend, your mother, your cousin, your kids even can help with that. Your husband, your wife, your boyfriend, girlfriend, anybody that you really believe that is your best friend, that has your best interest, that is not going to sabotage you, but is also going to help support you when those days are down. Try to reach out to that person. Here's what I need. You have to express what you need, communicate with them. Here's what you need in order to get that thing. In order to achieve that, I need you, support person, to do this for me. I need you to check in on me. I need you to be encouraging. I need you to remind me about this, this, and this. And I want to check in for the first couple of weeks. I want to check in like every day or every other day. After that, it maybe could be every third, fourth day, however I'm doing, right? So you have to communicate with what it is that you're going to need. And the last step is, what do I have to do, or who do I have to be in order to allow this thing to come into my life? We're talking about changing and shifting energy. And when we're changing and shifting energy, you have to transform. And in order to do that, you have to ask those questions. What do I have to do differently? So if I'm losing weight, what do I have to do differently? Well, I have to stop eating cookies. It is, while I'm recording this, it is 2-3 days before Christmas, and there's Christmas cookies like crazy in this house. And I have a sugar addiction. And here's all these cookies. And so speaking of weight loss, right? So what do I have to do? Well, I have to stop eating all these cookies. Maybe I let myself have 1 or 2 in a week, but I can't have 1 or 2 a day. It also affects my mental clarity too. It makes me very cloudy. It also makes me kind of tired. It kind of boosts me up and then it makes me tired. So what do I have to do? Who do I have to become in order to allow this thing to shift and take place in my life? And your support person can help you with this. Now, you also need to be a little bit more motivating and positive and encouraging. Where if you're anything like me, you may very well be like, I'm never going to reach this goal. You have to stop. You have to clap your hands or stomp your feet or snap your fingers to remind you those words do not help you. Those words hurt you. And if you are praising yourself, then you are shifting the energy tremendously, exponentially, than you could if you were dogging on yourself and trying to reach your goal. Do you know what I'm saying? You have to be encouraging. There's no ulterior motive if you are giving yourself praise. I have a thank you box. It's actually an old cigar box, and I love cigars. I have this old cigar box, and every year I create what's called a thank you box. And that thank you box starts at the beginning of the year, and I have all these cut scrap pieces of paper and a pencil or a pen, I think, in there. And every day, every week, I'm like, oh, something happened. I'm going to pull that out, and I write, thank you for whatever happened. Thank you for finding this podcast place to, put my podcast on. Thank you to my listeners. Thank you for this comment. Thank you for this speaking event. Thank you that my boys remembered my birthday. Thank you for, whatever. And then at the end of the year, on New Year's Eve, I take those out. They've gathered them. I've stuffed them all in there throughout the year. And I take those out and I read them. And I read them out loud. We try to get all the kids to do it. And I try to Amy to do it. But really, I'm pretty consistent with it. But there's also self-praise that's in there. So self-praise is, you know what, Jen, I'm really proud of you that you stuck with this long enough. I'm really proud of you of the podcast you did. I'm really proud of you that you went and did that workout today, or that you're doing your PT exercises, or I'm really proud of the person that you helped at the store yesterday. I'm really proud of, the money management skills that you not only have learned, but you're completely implementing. Now look at your bank account. Because when you say to you that you're proud of you, there's no ulterior motive. You can truly believe that. And you can find things right now in this moment, even if you are in your darkest of days, something that you can be proud of. Something that you're doing, saying, thinking, being, having, and something that you can be proud of. So I encourage you to do that. I encourage you to look at these steps in the Personal Intention Accelerator, in this framework, and say, here's this goal. I'm going to push my goal through that, and see exactly where I'm getting stuck. And I'm going to get myself going. I'm going to push my goals forward. And that also means I'm going to push myself forward. And when I would do this and I would recognize where I was getting stuck, I would just polish that up. Oh, I'm getting stuck with support. Okay. Hey, Amy, I'm really wanting to start my own business in this particular thing, and I want to coach more. I want to speak more. Can you help me be supportive? She's like, yeah. I said, can you remind me to meditate daily, or can you remind me to do my affirmations or my mala beads? And if any of these things you don't understand, it's okay. They're coming up in other podcasts. But what was I able to achieve? I now have success on the other end. I now have time and money freedom because I was able to push my goal through there, see where I was getting stuck, get myself unstuck, and move on to the next step. All of these steps are sequential, so don't skip them. The first thing you do is put them through the questionnaire. Don't stop and try to do the work along the way. Put them all through, look at everything, see where you're getting stuck, and then apply the action. The transformation that I had to go through was I had to learn how to be confident. I had to learn to empower myself because I didn't always have a partner like I do today. I didn't always have a partner that I could depend on or trust even, or didn't think my goal was stupid. I mean, I had a partner one time that told me my goal was dumb and I wanted to have time and money freedom. And this was back in probably, 98, 99, probably 99. And she was like, that's so stupid. Just go get a job. I'm like, I don't want a job. At that point, I probably had 13 jobs or 14 jobs, or some crazy thing. And she's just like, just go get a job like everyone else. Quit trying to do that. And that's what she told me. Oh, that's not very supportive. So I had to change. And I transform now into this empowered woman who has time and money freedom. So I thank you for listening. I have much gratitude for this particular podcast episode and for you listening. I bless you with abundance and love and health. And I am signing off, Jen Mack, also known as Lady of the Mind. Until the next episode, please choose peace. Thanks for listening, and if you liked this episode, please take the time to like and share. Also, please visit me on my other social media pages. I'm on Instagram, Jen Mack, Lady of the Mind. I'm on Facebook, where we have this community titled Life Mastery Decoded, and it's a community of women and women entrepreneurs where we come together to support one another in sharing our successes and struggles. You can also check out my YouTube channel, where I share my teachings and my personal journey, and it's simply titled Jen Mack, Jenmac. Have a great day, and I hope to hear from you.